you for coming and joining us. Welcome to SASA Archaeogaming. And today, we are playing Ancestors Humankind Odyssey with Tine, Rassalle, and Jacob Coffey. So, welcome. Just really quick to explain what is SASA. SASA stands for Save Ancient Studies Alliance. Our mission is to reverse the current downward trend in the study of the ancient world by engaging the public and bringing together students and scholars to share their passion for the study of the ancient world in order to inspire a vast new generation of students. So one of the ways we want to do that, of course, is through Archaeogaming and eventually implementing lesson plans and all this more fun stuff going on with Archaeogaming, and really these live events are our first thing testing the water. So thank you very much for coming. As usual, of course, follow us on all of our social media pages by searching Save Ancient Studies Alliance or SASA. On Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, we post basically every day about different ancient studies topics. And then on YouTube and Twitch, we have various recordings of our live events and other videos like Ancient Kitchen and Scholars and Students. And then really quick, just some protocol for the event. Be kind and respectful, listen, and ask thoughtful questions. So please ask questions in the chat. We are basically here to answer your questions and stuff. So we'll be going through the game, and just even if you see things, like asking if things are accurate and things like that is what we would love to hear. Please be patient with our technology and those administering it, as you already were if you were here for a few minutes ago. And of course, SASA live events are recorded and will be archived on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. And have fun. So I'm going to hand it over to Tina to get started with the actual session of Ancestors Humankind Odyssey. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Welcome, everyone. We are back for another Archaeogaming session. We took some time off during winter break, but now we are back, and we will be having these Archaeogaming sessions once a month for the next couple of months. We already have a lineup for March and April and even May, so we are back at it. I can't see myself on the screen, so I hope I look decent. I can't see myself, but I try to imagine that I can. So hi, I'm your host, as always, Tina, a PhD candidate at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and a biblical archaeologist, but also a video gamer, and that is why I have been organizing these sessions. And we have a very lovely guest today, whose name is Jacob Coffey, and who is going to introduce himself to the audience. Jacob?
Hi, thank you. My name is Jacob. I am an anthropologist. I graduated a few years ago from Bridgewater State University. I am currently not actively pursuing any careers in my direct field, but I do have a company that my friends and I have created called Testimony. You may have seen us or heard of us online if you are in the Archaeogaming community at all, or anything with archaeology or anthropology. I myself like to say that I specialize in cultural or just general anthropology, is what my friends say, because like my major, I tend to reach out through the branches. So I'm having a lot of fun playing games and talking about it with people, so hopefully you guys will enjoy this. We're going to be playing Ancestors today, which is an interesting game, to say the least.
Yeah, it's an interesting game.
We're going to do it for educational purposes.
Yes. And so I wanted to, and my first question, Jacob, to you before we dive into it is, I asked you when we got in touch a couple of months ago which game you would be interested in playing during this session, and you were the one picking this particular game. So what piqued your interest in playing an Ancestors? Because the game is already 2 years old, right? So why did you choose this particular one to showcase?
So originally, I saw this game when it was first announced, and I was excited because obviously a lot of my interest when I was in school still, and even afterwards, is through psychology and anthropology and primatology and archaeology. So those all link up when you talk about human evolution, which we will be talking about today, to let everybody know that. And the entire aspect of the game is to follow the evolution of a human-like ancestor, which is an interesting topic, because there's a lot of maybe not fully scientific things, which is why I originally was nervous when I heard the game was being released, because I was like, oh, cool, a game about evolution. Hold on a sec. How are they going to do this, and how are they going to approach this, and is this going to be scientifically accurate?
Right.
Which is the curse of anybody in this field, as you know. Whenever a game comes out and we're like, historically accurate, okay, but what are they going to do wrong? Is the first thing we jump to. We'll enjoy movies and games anyways, but we're always going to criticize them. We all love Indiana Jones, but that doesn't mean he's a great archaeologist. So
we love to critique. It's part of our field, right?
So,
you don't learn new things if you don't ask questions. So
yeah, so this game originally piqued my interest because of those reasons, and because knowing these things and learning about these things is actually really important, I believe, at least, in education systems, colleges, universities, and schools in general.
Right.
Especially when we can use games like this to actually bring up the discussion, whether somebody might or might not agree or believe or not believe in these theories and or scientific facts. It is great to talk about it. And I think opening that Discord, no pun intended based on where we're talking right now, I think it's great. I really do think that this is an excellent example of how we can use this for educational purposes.
Right. Well, shall we dive right in? Shall we start from the beginning and see what this is about?
Guess we will. I can create a new lineage here. I did start one so that I could get a little bit of an understanding more of where we're going with it, but I'm going to start the new lineage because I think the opening of the game is going to work too.
Great. I think this will give us a good background of what this game is. What the goal is.
Before I start it officially with the new lineage, I do want to put in a slight disclaimer for anybody who's watching. This game does talk heavily about evolution. So the other factor is that there are the beginning is about fear and how fear influences a small creature. So factor that in as well. There are some scenes that may be graphic for some individuals. It's just because there are predators in this game and it's a survival game. So I don't know if I'm going to get attacked, and it's going to be fun. So let's go through this together. All right. So I'm going to start the new lineage now. And I don't know what we should even call it because I'm going to have to type.
Oh, you get to call your own peoples?
Yeah, I don't even know what we can call it.
You can call it the Coffey family. Or the SASA.
Let's just call it SASA. I was going to say, let's call it SASA for now.
Yeah, we never had a family before. SASA family.
Okay.
I like it.
So the game does go into certain kind of experiences. So it's set somewhere in Africa, very vague to discredit any possible theories, set about 10 million years ago. So
10 million
you can go from first time or you can go to survivor. So for kicks, I'm going to go first time. It'll allow you to actually do full HUD tutorial, no tutorial, immersive, or riveting, which is supposed to be just you're thrown into a survival game. So I'm going to do immersive because I do need some of the HUD to be able to navigate. I'll set the gender to random. Looks like we're starting with a male, clan size medium. It is an unknown species because it is a basic human ancestor. And then we're going to go with the hidden waterfall oasis starting point.
Excellent. Sounds good to me.
So while this is loading, I'm going to briefly talk about this. That there are things in this game that I'll address as they show up that I might not agree with, especially certain evolutionary points. Because if we're talking about an early human ancestor, we're going to have to talk about how people over time change habits and abilities, we'll say, for the purpose of the game. You do evolve as the game goes on, which is not exactly how evolution works, as we know. And there are ways to skip generations to make it work, but it's going to be interesting to address how some of those abilities, if you will pop up, maybe prematurely to how they would actually organically develop.
Right. So we're in Africa 10 million years ago. So where would we be? Would that be like Eastern Africa, I assume?
I would naturally assume it'd be either Eastern or probably Southeastern, to be more specific, just because of fossil record. That's where I would guess, at least.
Yeah.
So
that's where we have the oldest humanoids in the archaeological record, right? So
okay, so here we go. Here's the intro. I have it up.
Inspired by true events. Okay.
Yeah, right?
That's quite the statement. But it's not the exact depiction of what happened. Okay. So this is made by the
Thank everybody
some
who
of the
created the game,
makers
too.
of Assassin's Creed, right? These
I think
Spanish
it's
people?
part. Yeah, it's part by. I'm not positive, but I thought it was part of a. It was the man who helped create the Panache Studios there. I want to say a couple of them were originally from Ubisoft,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they did help with some historically accurate games. Yeah.
Yes, they were part of the Ubisoft Montreal Canada team, I know, and then they kind of moved on and formed their own studio, Panache, and this is their first game that came out. Which is one of the reasons why I played it when it came out 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was really excited when it first came out. So we'll see.
Good luck. We won't help you much. That's quite the understatement.
Right? So the whole point of this starting up is they are saying, like, here's your introduction, here's what's going on. So again, take this as science fiction.
Is this the Big Bang? Oh no, we're already on planet Earth. Okay, we're on planet Earth.
No, yeah, we're ready to go.
Ooh, look at that.
This is just gonna show you how everything is connected.
The circle of life.
So you might want to just really quick, I think you might want to mute one of the volumes. I think we're still having a concert hall.
Yeah, this is very loud. Let me see if this is better. I mean, silenced the gameplay a little bit.
Alright, as long as we're still coming through and they can still hear us, then we're good. So yeah, the whole point of this scene, which apparently is coming through a little bit slow. There we go. The whole point of this scene is just kind of show you the entire environment that you're playing in is connected. It's kind of giving you a brief little rundown of some threats that you may face.
Yeah, and very dangerous.
I know them well, as I said before. The first time I played this casually, wandering around and got attacked by some large feline creature that just dove out of the bushes and took me out. So it really does impact you with that survival mentality of a moderately helpless until you develop the skills ancestor. So I have not yet progressed through the entirety of the game myself, but I do believe that this game was originally developed in form of they wanted to start here and slowly, like, I think it might have even been an intention to make more games where you're further on down the line.
Really?
And that's why it was the whole point of it was the Humankind Odyssey.
Ah, that makes sense. There might be a part 2 coming at some point.
Hold on. I know that the entire point was that the end, like, it eventually reaches the point where you are portraying a creature similar to Lucy. Alright, so see, as I said, graphic images, don't worry, the child is still alive. Alright.
And we are starting. That's quite
Yeah,
the
so this
intro.
is the part where I was saying, this is where we're getting some of these things, so we're going to, I'm going to see the stream.
So you're playing as the little one here.
Yeah, playing as the little one, and these are the fear sequences. So again, basic survival game aspects. You can use intelligence, which again, this is one of the first things I'll address, is intelligence, assuming that we're talking about intelligence as an evolved factor, but I don't remember where it is, so I'm gonna have to find it real quick. I think it's over here. I'm gonna wing it.
I think it's great how they like instilled that feeling of fear without explicitly stating it, right? Like you feel scared being in that environment where you don't know anything and you don't recognize anything and you don't know what predators are hiding, just by how they like created this atmosphere.
Yeah, I remember it was was a little spooky actually the first time you played with the game audio itself, because it was just a bit much. Where was that?
Poor baby.
I can't remember if this is the hiding spot or if not. Here, yeah. So we're going to go to the hiding spot, and then it's going to transfer us to somebody in a pre-established colony. Again, not going to dive too far into that. So we're going to start off as that male character that it had us start off as. And right here, I'm going to just go ahead and start off my first complaint about this game. Right now, if you walk into the water, first off, he's walking in the water. Just naturally walking in the water. And second, this is a pretty well-established bipedal walk.
Right.
Address that however you desire. But
So what, do they explicitly state what hominid you are? What kind of?
no.
No.
It even says that the species is question mark.
So we don't know
So-
if we are a Homo sapiens or a... Probably not, right?
I would assume that the intention was to... I have to just slightly turn up the volume here real quick so I can hear... Because you're supposed to be able to hear the baby. And we'll hope that I don't fall like I did the first time. Alright.
Ooh, that's deep.
So you have senses, which you can hear, you can smell, and you can see. So the intelligence shows you points of interest, things you might want to be able to find. And it grows your neurons, which, again, this is the boosting intelligence factor.
Ooh, you found something new. But it's a question mark. You haven't seen it yet. You just smelled it.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. So you're really starting from scratch. There's nothing you know about the world.
Yeah, I can actually pull up the... if I can remember how to get to it. Nope, it's not that. I'll figure it out when we get there. There's a way to pull up the entire evolutionary menu. So we're going to try and remember how to grab onto things, and we're going to climb down. Which, again, we'll address. We're assuming that whatever being we're playing as is a naturally good climber, which is okay. Again, we'll allow it for now. More bipedal walking that I'm going to criticize, but not go too far into because we're supposed to be enjoying this.
Oh, you have a baby with a spontaneous genetic mutation.
Let's see. I think we're going to have to listen for the sounds. I believe we were over there. So we're going to go find that baby and hopefully not get taken out in the process. Alright. So this is where we're going to start with the communication. So you actually have to make calls. There. So there's a vibration factor in the controller right now where it's like once the controller vibrates, I have to hit the button. make
See,
the
I
call
played it on PC and
coax
there
the
was
child.
nothing vibrating, and this was pretty tricky. Took me a while to figure
Yeah,
out how to do it.
Because of how they designed the game, it was actually designed to be used with the controller. So I found that interesting because a lot of companies I found these days are really not taking that approach. They're usually trying to be like, hey, play on whatever thing you want to play on, just buy our game.
Right.
This was like, it even says at the beginning, this game is designed to be used with a controller.
Well, speaking from someone who did not play it with a controller, it definitely there were some tricky parts where I had no clue what I need to do. Because this game does not take you by the hand
definitely.
at all. You really have to figure it all out on your own.
Oh no. Since I put it on survival mode, I'm not even remembering what buttons I have to press because they're not showing up on the screen.
Yeah, wow.
So I don't remember even where my colony is. So we're going to have fun finding that. I believe we climbed down though. So I guess we're going to climb up and find out.
Let's go up. Nature is so beautiful in this game.
It is. I think we can use the... See, it has markers too. See, this is where the original hominid died from the bird.
Oh, yep. Is its body
So over
still
here, we're
there?
gonna check. Yes, actually, if you go up, there's bones. All right, so that's the current settlement. We're gonna have to go there. I think we're still getting a concert hall.
You still
All right, you might have to really quick. Yeah, I was gonna say you might have to really quick check that. It's probably picking up from desktop audio because you're pulling. Okay, so I think you're picking up Discord and the stream. I'm gonna try and not die while
Well,
you do
the
that.
only thing I can do about that is not have the Discord sound, so the game sounds on at all. Then we'll just have to do it without game sound.
Well,
Let us know in the chat if this is better, and we'll just play the game on silence.
yeah, we'll play it while we're working on it. Worst case, I think we still. So I don't know. I don't have it on, so I'd have to turn it up real quick to hear. Oh yeah, it was echoing. So let's see. How did we get up there? We'll spend the next 20 minutes trying to figure out how to get back. See, this was my issue the first time. I played this game with some friends watching, and we were doing this and died.
Oh yeah.
Again. Oh, wait.
Oh no!
Hold on. I made it. I'm gravely injured, but I made it. And I am unaware of if I can climb.
Oh no! Look. Now you
Oh no,
so
sorry.
slow.
Hold on. I have spam showing up on my stream. Give me a sec too. I don't know how to moderate my stream. Sorry. All right. So try and turn the game sound back on, and we'll figure that out.
Okay. The game sound goes back on. Then I guess that was not the problem. And I can't see the chat, people, so I need to get chat information from someone else, so it takes a second before I see what you guys are saying. But we're getting there.
Here. All right. We're getting there. Hold on. Oh, that was a lucky catch, I do have to say. So I'm curious as to how injured this individual is.
But he's holding his knee, so I think
He's holding his knee. I mean, I probably broke his legs. I mean, I fell from pretty high height. I was very surprised. Okay, here we go.
And we're back in the gorge.
Yeah, so
Maybe.
we're gonna watch that real quick.
How adorable.
I got rid of that, but it's still showing up on my stream.
What are they doing? Are they happy?
So we're gonna build a sleep spot. I really. Oh, get the game on. I would really like to switch individuals here. I just forget all of the buttons. Let's see if we can actually go into options real quick. I want to see if it will let me turn back on some of the stuff here. So I'm pulling back up the HUD because survival mode's only going to get me so far right now. So we're gonna. I'm just gonna switch individuals because this dude's got a broken leg and it's not working for me.
As in you can now play with a different character?
Yep. So it's that easy. You just switch individuals.
So now
and
you're
we're
no
going
longer
to-
hurt. The hurt one can take
Yeah.
care
So
of
now I'm
itself.
someone else. So we're going to drop this here. This, as I was saying to you earlier, this was an entire process that I like didn't even figure out on my own. I had to like spend way too much time figuring it out. You can build your. So we're gonna inspect this. So you're gonna build your own nest, and it's gonna find the tools that you need. So we're gonna add this to the pile. Oh, apparently I'm just gonna throw it.
Yeah, the game is really all about trial and error, right? Like it takes you forever to figure out. All you can do is try a plant, do something, try a stone, knock it around, hope something
Yeah, you'll
works,
try like
or
mushrooms.
happen, and click, because you have no idea what you're supposed to be doing.
No, it doesn't. They really, when they're like, we don't tell you anything, I was like, oh yeah, games say that all the time. It's like, no, we really don't tell you anything.
Exactly.
So we're gonna start the construction on this really quick. And
In the meantime,
Pound
guys,
it.
if you have any questions for me or Jacob, feel free to put it in the chat, and we can get back to you. Sleep spot. You know what I find interesting, that they have these Latin names under plants and stuff, but then also for sleeping spot, they have a Latin name for it. Don't really know why.
they took some interesting perspectives on that too. So here, look, let's see. Yeah, I don't have anything yet because we didn't do anything with the character yet. But
This is your
the neural.
your brain, right? Or like your
Yeah.
cognitive.
Okay, so there is a question. Somebody asked, what happens if you die? Do you respawn or is death permanent? Death is painfully permanent in this game, to the point where you lose that character entirely. And every single character has its own name, has its own behaviors. To an extent, it's not really like, you know, so we're going to sleep, just kind of sleep the night away, because it's already 6 p.m., so I want to see if it will pop up with any of this. So right here, popping up on the screen is like memories of things you may have seen or encountered near you when you were awake. So those kind of imprint them, and this is part of that evolutionary factor that psychologically I'm not a fan of, but it's kind of imprinting overnight, which kind of shows how the brain intakes things while you sleep.
So you're kind of sleeping and processing the day, and that's how you become more intelligent as a species.
Yeah. So right now, the character I'm playing as is a female character, as you can probably notice. Another discussion point is there really isn't too much difference between the male and female. You know, there's not really
characteristics, or
not really too much sexual dimorphism here.
right.
If we're looking at it, the males are slightly broader on the arms. If you can see the arms, and the hair in the arms is actually more pronounced. And the hair on the top of the head. Beyond that, it's really not. So if we're gonna maybe see if we can get the interest of somebody else. So this one. So we're gonna do a whole process here. So you're gonna groom, and that's their way of bonding. They kept this game relatively PG. So you're gonna hold the groom until the indicator, and it bonds the pair. Which again, this takes like the entire process of like, you know.
It's still a game. You're not going to be doing this
We're
for
gonna take it
2
easy here.
hours
How about
to just make a friend. You do it 2 times and you're bonded.
Yeah.
Don't
So
make it
it has
too
you press the
easy.
button like 3 or 4 times, and the same thing. You feel the vibration, you let go of the button. Now we're going to have a bonded pair. So
You're a couple. That went fast.
ta-da! So we're only that easy.
I did read
over
that
here.
that as inspiration for this game, they of course looked at archaeological finds and bones and stuff But they also looked at, modern primates. They also looked at chimpanzees and bonobos and stuff to see what they are doing, suspecting that these first hominoids were acting in the same way, right? So like the grooming, of course, you wouldn't find any archaeological evidence of the fact that these creatures were grooming. But this is, of course, taken from the ape worlds that we can still see nowadays, and kind of assuming that that's what they did then as well.
Yeah. I mean, especially considering regarding behavior of currently studied species of apes that we have, a lot of the research that is done on bonding is done through grooming too. It's a lot of physical behavior as well. So the next stage of this, if you didn't notice when we were talking, I was holding down the mate button, which just kind of hands off the screen, which is now going to yield the give birth button. Ta-da! So here we are.
You don't have to wait 9 months.
No, it's real quick, much easier.
It's a bit like The Sims.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little bit of blur and then we're good. So this is a cool simulation aspect of the game too, because whichever parent you choose, it will pass down those genetics to the individual that comes out of this mating process. So now this baby is 15 months later. Now this baby is part of your colony, and if you go forward in the generations, the baby gets older. So kind of interesting to watch the gene pool, especially because they give you this colony and they don't tell you anything about it. So you don't know if anybody's related. You don't know. I mean, like we said, they don't tell you anything when you start. So you start with at least one male and at least one female, and then 1 or 2 elders and 2 children. So now we have the new baby. So I can even go check. So ready?
But you can. What you say is you can interbreed because you don't know how these individuals are related.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you know if like inbreeding causes any problems in this game? Do you have to get new members?
Have not explored that much, but I do know that there are other colonies you can interact with. So I'm going to show. This is where we get into the expedited evolution a little bit, where it's a little bit iffy. So I just grabbed a random branch. I'm going to inspect the branch now. And again, it's like, whoa, what's this? Oh, we figured it out. It's a dead branch. So one of the interesting things on this is
Ramus mortus.
Yeah, so we can stockpile them, or we can just
now what?
Pick it up. Well, there is a way. So I was trying to modify this, but I'm trying to remember how to do it. So we're gonna inspect it. Once you enhance the dexterity, you can actually modify the. Let's throw it. You can modify the branch too. And there's a way to actually take this over here.
Can you slap the other monkeys?
No, but we can groom them.
So
see, some of them are like these 2 are coupled, so it will tell you that they're coupled. It will tell you which child is theirs or whatever. So we can actually pick this up, inspect it, and again, this gets to the point where it's like, are we really expediting evolution this much? Which was my original issue with the game. Like, tool discovered, and now we just know how to use obsidian.
Yeah.
So when you enhance dexterity, you can actually use the obsidian to sharpen the branch. So we're going to just go look.
I mean, in theory, it took you 15 months to find that piece of rock.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go with that point, I mean, 15 months, they were just kind of sitting around doing nothing. So the Latin name is interesting too. What is it? I found water. I discovered water apparently. So they do have an entire survival-based aspect as well, where you do need to keep your individuals hydrated and fed, and the others will come join you. So it's the when one goes, they all go. So we're going to do a few inspecting, and then I can fast forward this to however many thousand years they decide to fast forward it once we discover a few things. And once you fast forward it, it will like lock in what genetics you've selected. So this is what we learned. The adaptable metabolism is not going to work with every kind of berry, particularly these ones.
You just
Don't
poison
agree
yourself.
with the individual. I did. I'd see. This is what we're talking about. I definitely just poisoned myself. I'm trying to figure out how to make this work.
I like that part, right? Like, if you would have been dropped in the middle of a jungle, you have no idea what is edible and what is not. Like, I wouldn't.
Exactly.
There's only one way to find out.
I don't know how to. I think the drinking the water. Okay, the drinking the water is helping because water apparently cures poison. So that's a good thing to know in life if you ever need that skill. Disclaimer: that's not true.
But it doesn't throw up,
Okay.
so.
There we go. So we're going to use the senses a little bit too, real quick. I want to use the intelligence too. So these are like how you identify. So you want to identify the different things that you find.
Oh, there's
And
so
you can
much
do
to
different
find.
things with these things. You got water sources. You can mark things and lock them in the memories. So all of the individuals kind of wander around. All right. I think we can lie down, and then we will check out the evolutionary branch. Okay, so right now we're going to learn a new skill, which is the ability to switch hands. So this is again expedited evolution, which is a good point to talk about this, because this isn't necessarily how it works in real life, and that's a good point to bring up because
Right.
there are people who do and might be even watching this that genuinely have learned that evolution is you get a new ability or a adaptation or a mutation, and then that's just boom, evolution. That's how it works. Reality, it's going to take a long time for that to work. So while this individual happened to learn a couple new motor skills, can happen within a lifetime. For that to be applied, these new modes of transportation, new walking methods, new climbing methods, memory and food, it's going to be all learned and taught over generations. So
Yeah, and then to spread to all the members of the clan. It's not because one person can do or one ape can have a certain skill that all of a sudden all 100 of them do. Takes a long time.
which is part of the reason why if you're doing things within the colony, the others will start to follow you, like you can call them to. So we'll do that, and then we're gonna go pick up this. See if we can. Oh, we're gonna try and lift the stick again apparently. Hold on.
Cool. Now you can hold two items, so now you can smash them together.
Yeah. So now we have altar items. See, so we broke the stick.
Oh.
Switch hands.
So branch plus rock equals broken branch.
Apparently. So again, dexterity increases. So let's grab this and see what happens when we try to alter it holding two of the same thing.
Oh, yeah. What if you do 2 stones?
One breaks. Congrats. No, so there is a. Yeah, I'll go back to do the 6. So this is. There's another one that is overwhelmingly this easy. So we're going to switch hands real quick, then we're going to alter it. So, again, this is a vibration-based system. Stripping dead branches is now a modified skill.
See, that's useful.
So now we're going to, again, inspect it if we can. This fear, the fear that happened at the beginning of the game,
The fear goes away.
shown not knowing what it is and discovering this. So now,
Now we
yeah,
have a
now we have a
stick.
stick.
Now we can dig for ants,
So,
if I have learned anything from apes.
do you remember how to do that?
Oh, no, I don't know if you can do it
I
in the
think
game.
that we can.
I think you can. There are holes later on that have snails in them, and
We can try this.
You can get the snails out of the ground. I know that.
Yeah, the snails were definitely something in lifting rocks. So let's see if we can kind of expedite this a little bit and see what we got. So evolution, we're gonna pop like in here. And now again, new skill, so we have more that popped up. We're gonna initiate this. We're gonna learn it.
I mean, we're doing a lot
Item
now in
manipulation.
half an hour, but
Congratulations.
the first time that I was playing this game, just what we now did took me like 2 hours to figure out. It's so
Exactly.
slow.
So once you get other things, you can use the skill to learn new things.
Also, I feel like we are
Why it's taking
so
so
used
long.
to fast-paced games. Like the moment I started with my colony, it was like, okay, so I need to like search my surroundings and see where I am and whatever, and then I would die 100 times. I'm like, okay, I have to take it much slower than that. I first have to learn how to sleep and to eat, and then I can move out of my gorge. It's definitely a much slower paced game than anything else that I've played.
All right. Real quick, I do think we are still having that double sound issue. I don't know which thing you have to mute for that to
I know.
pick it
I
up.
think
I
it's
know
because
that I'm not picking up.
it's because I am talking to you over Discord, but then I'm also hearing you talking to us over Discord through your Twitch that I'm watching. And I don't know how to turn these off since we need both.
So I would say if you don't have the stream up on your computer.
I don't have the SASA stream up, no. Because you guys see what I see on my laptop. I can't switch the screens.
Mouse over the stream again right there. And go down to the bottom left. Go down to the bottom left and mute it on the bottom left and see if that fixes it.
I can mute it. That's what I did about half an hour ago.
Oh, that kills the game audio.
That kills the game audio, and then people said it didn't really change the echoing.
Yeah,
Maybe if I go into my
positive. Okay, so you're gonna have to mute me on Discord then.
I can do that.
I'm just trying to make this easier so that everybody can. If we did fix this last time we tested this, I can't remember which thing we did to fix it, but we can try a couple things so that you guys can hear us properly again. Technical things occur. Just want to make sure that we have it all working properly.
Let's see. What about now? Can we still hear each other? No, I can no longer hear.
The generation section, which you've had enough time to see. In the meantime, this is how we kind of skip into the future, so that we don't have to worry about the little technical things. It's going to skip 15 years. It's going to pass a generation, which this is that. You know, speeding it up things. So we're going to reinforce certain aspects. Okay. We now don't have Discord up.
Nope. I'm trying.
Okay. I don't remember what we did to fix this. Since as we can hear us both.
Can one hear us now still?
I don't have a mic plugged into my PS4 right now. My PS4 audio is only coming through the stream. Alright.
Can one hear us now still? Trying to figure it out, people.
Anytime anybody have any questions we can try and answer a little bit. I know somebody had said that they were expecting the age to look a little bit more like Lucy. That one, I believe I briefly mentioned it before but didn't dive too far into it, was that I believe the original purpose of the game was to eventually get you to that point where either it's at the end of this game or it's at whatever future game they were planning, is to get you to that point of the evolutionary chain. And then this is the in-between, if you will. So here's the issue where I hit skip a generation, right? And yeah, but it's gonna have some death. I don't know if anyone is still even around. So we passed 15 years, so if you actually check the individual I was playing at the time is now gray-haired. And the younger ones are all older now. Okay. Someone said that you have 2 Twitch streams open playing audio. Okay, so take it out of full screen really quick. And do you have any other tabs open on your computer?
I have the SASA one, but that's been muted the whole time. So I don't know.
Oh wait, hold on. Just close the SASA tab then for now.
Okay.
Just to avoid any. See if that fixes it.
Okay. Let's try again. See if that works.
Did that work? I have no idea. I don't have it.
Me neither.
I can't tell.
Definitely not
okay.
the easiest thing to figure out. But...
No, there was 2 Twitch in the Discord audio. Alright, well, for now, let's just keep playing. I'm really sorry if the audio isn't exactly perfect right now. We'll just address the game for now. So as I said before, we're in the next generation and their aspect of generation. So individual I was playing as before is now older, and we have the younger ones are now...
Did your babies just become mature out of their own while you were not interacting with them? So they are now adults?
Yeah, so because I skipped 15 years into the future. So this is the part where we're like, okay, we can maroon the individuals, but also family related, it says right on there. So I'm personally gonna avoid this.
Well, you have to make more babies,
right here,
right? Or your entire tribe is gonna die out.
True, indeed. But I would prefer to check before we do that, because we're gonna want to make more before we do that, you know. Analyze. This is the baby right here. The baby that we created earlier. This is the baby. So we're gonna go with the groom, and we're gonna try and make another child or 2 so that we can actually advance this much further. as we did this yesterday. We actually.
Do you know if
tried
there's a
to skip.
maximum on the amount of babies you can make?
I don't know, but I would assume there is. Just naturally. So we're gonna do this quick, and then we're gonna see if we can expedite everything without going too much into modifying it, just to show what would happen if you don't work those skills and efforts. So
What's
we'll do
the
this.
average
I know it's gonna let me
age?
skip the whole process.
Do you know, Jacob, what the average age of these primates is? Do they die when they're like 50 or 60 or younger?
I'm not positive because this one was a baby, and now we have full maturity. And that was in 15 years.
Right.
Alright, so we're just gonna skip this.
We're
We gotta get this whole
going again.
animation process again. Yeah. So the baby had spontaneous genetic mutation, which means we're just gonna kind of let that happen. So we're gonna go back in the evolutionary chart. New branches, new neurons. So we don't have neural energy right now. So let's pick up the kid. Alright, we'll just play with the senses real quick. So was there anything else you wanted to personally address about the game that you had found in your travels?
I just think it's a really hard game. I kept on dying. I have to be honest. I started from scratch about 3 or 4 times trying to get a family started, and at some point I would die and there would be like only 2 females left and I couldn't, get more babies, so I would just like stop and try over and try a new strategy, but that strategy wouldn't work either. I never really made it far out because at some point you want to leave this valley and go explore. But then if you don't find other apes to make babies with, you're kind of stuck. Then you have to be able to come back. But then you're so far away from your homestead that you forget where you were, and how to get there, and then you just like die of old age or something.
Yeah.
I find it very hard.
I don't know if this is doing anything, if it's yielding anything, but I'm going to do it anyway.
I guess life was hard, but I wish you could like take some primates with you when you travel out of the valley. Like, take your tribe with you.
I think you can, but you risk them all dying if like they fall and stuff.
So somebody asked,
So I was hitting the granite. Oh.
Somebody asked, do all the babies have the same character model, or do they have their own features based on their parents? I'm guessing they mean physical-wise.
So the short answer on that is, no, they really don't. I mean, the characters are pretty much a base model. From what I've seen, at least. I mean, I've seen like some slight like randomizers in the face. Like the males look a little bit more rough around the edges. But still, like I'm running this on a PS4 Pro, and I still feel like they didn't put a ton of work into the faces, unless it's just not running as well on my system as it could.
I agree. It's the same on PC. I feel like the game looks really good, but then there's details that are lacking or not as good. Especially in the bodies.
Yeah.
What I do know is that when you start evolving more and more, definitely when you get towards the end of the game and you almost finish it, from what I've seen on YouTube, they do look different, right? The primates, they start becoming, they have less hair, they are a bit slender, they are a bit taller. So if you start skipping hundreds of years because you evolve into a new evolutionary branch or whatever, they start looking different and more human-like.
Yeah, so...
But I've personally never gone there.
Yeah, I haven't gotten that far either, but there's a discussion point here about What is this? It looks like people are still hearing the issue. Sorry.
Well, at this point, I've tried pretty much everything. I turned off desktop, turned on desktop, turned off audio output, turned it back on. Don't know what else I can do about that.
I'm actually like gonna background. Can you hear if you can hear my audio? Cause
There's
like
a lot of echo noises now.
we're all like doing the best we can with this right now, so we're trying really hard to make the audio sound better. So if it's that annoying, feel free to always watch one of the other million streams going on Twitch right now, because we're trying to do like an educational Archaeogaming video, and I think Tina and Jacob are doing a great job, so thank you very much. We've tried lots of things to get the mic to work, and sometimes it's more echoey than others, so that's just how it is.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm really trying. I don't know what else I can do. I understand that there could be a loop, a feed loop problem where I hear Jacob twice and send it out twice, but I don't think that's the case because I only have one screen open. And muting the gameplay sound was not working. That didn't fix the problem, so I pretty much don't know what else to do. I've been trying to switch the OBS settings, but that doesn't seem to fix it either. So I can try to turn off the gameplay sound again. See if this is better. But now you definitely will not hear the game being played at all.
Yeah, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be the actual game audio because I have no sound coming through the game audio. My only sound is coming through Discord, and I have a mic set into my phone, which I have Discord on, and that's what's being recorded by your OBS. So there should be no sound issues beyond that, but besides maybe mic pickup along with your computer. But again, I don't know how to fix that without muting you so that I can't hear you. I'd have to have the stream open to hear you, in which case there'd be a delay. So for now, this is what we're going to deal with, and apologies for anybody who's bothered by it.
Right. The bigger issue is, and that is basically a Twitch thing, that Twitch doesn't allow people who are in different places in the world to have a chat conversation while streaming. So Jacob could be streaming live from his PlayStation to Twitch and talk, and we would be able to hear him. But then I would not be able to have a voice conversation with him. You wouldn't be able to hear me. So because of that, we are actually talking to each other over Discord, and I am combining Jacob's stream with the Discord voice chat and sending them together to the SASA Twitch. So it's already a big endeavor to make that happen. But other than that, I don't know how to make things better. I mean, I wish Twitch would allow us to have multiple people call in and have a discussion. But until then, this is pretty much the only solution we have found so far to make this possible.
All right. So to avoid the chat for a brief second and talk about the game. If you didn't notice, I used that modified stick that we had, which is surprisingly still in perfect condition sitting on the ground after 15 years. Jump forward. I used the modified stick to lift up a rock, in which case I don't believe all rocks have the same thing under it, but if they do, this one had mushrooms. The mushrooms made me sick because I am not omnivorous yet.
Oh, really? So you can only eat animals without being sick?
Apparently.
Oh.
I don't know, because I would say that that's a fungus, and I just ate a plant with no issues. So I don't know where the line is on it. We're going to just drink some water and get rid of the stomach ache.
I also thought that apes ate plants before they ate meat, or not?
Yeah, and I don't even know if there's meat in the game yet, because I have not personally seen any. But see, this is the whole colony factor, and since it's night, we're going to go sleep through the night and maybe even evolve through the next zone. Just kind of skip ahead a little bit for perspective. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the child. I'm gonna sleep. Other apes contain meat. This is a true statement. And if we are going to talk about primates in general, there is exhibiting behavior of ingestion of meat from other primates, other clans of primates, and smaller animals. But again, this is more of a we don't know where they're taking the route with this, seeing as though they're saying this is an unnamed hominid ancestor.
Right.
So we slept through the night. We're gonna see if we. So this has that energy that it was building up. It was saying we need energy. So just by doing things with the child attached to your back, you can use that, and then the energy shrinks down. And if you have enough of it, boom, you get a new ability, which was handling the objects. More branches out. This is more neural network stuff.
I mean, this is more realistic than normal
Reinforce
RPGs
this.
where you can choose what you're going to level up or what qualities you're going to improve of your character, right? This you can't choose. This is because you discovered something, you are now better at that, which is a lot more accurate than your standard RPG video game.
Yeah, so see, this is the resemblance of what's happened in the meantime. We're going to jump another 15 years into the future for now. Looks like we have more bonds breaking, more
grooming.
More dying, more grooming. Oh, we had another death. Bummer. This is why I didn't learn their names. I learn their names when I get attached.
I know. So that is also one of the downfall. I don't know, negative aspects about this game for me personally. I like to bond with the character that you're playing with, right? Like that's what makes RPGs so addictive. You want to build out that character and get every stat that you possibly can. And this, you switch characters pretty much every half an hour or so, which makes you not feel as connected to them. So for me, that was kind of a negative thing. It made me not care as much about trying to get better at the game.
Yeah, so we're going to take a risk here, like I did the other day, and we're going to jump, like big jump. And we're going to see where it takes us. So my whole clan might die out, in which case I'll go to my other save file. Or fun stuff might happen. We'll find out. So this is kind of like letting evolution take its role. So it's going to base off the abilities you've already had, and it's going to jump. So I don't know how many years we're going to jump, but we're going to jump.
24,000.
So these are things. So like based on the feats that you collected, you earn years by scientific years.
Oh, wow.
So this is kind of like if we want to compare this to relatively genuine evolution, this is going to compare the scientific method of what would happen versus what actually does happen in the game simulation. So one death, that's minus 25,000 years.
No.
4 births, that's added 20,000 years. So this is kind of their system of balancing it out in the survival game. So our evolutionary leap so far is 43,983 years. So we're evolving slower than science in our simulation. And we've moved through time to 9,955,985 years before the current time that we live in. And we will be brought back up to the world with the lineage right now. So it's going to build out branches that I didn't even manually do myself.
So you've discovered stuff that just the game makes you discover.
Yeah, we're going to see where it takes us. So these things can be attained through actual manual work, which is why this game can vary dramatically on how long it takes you to play through it. So this even, we've gone a huge jump into the future. We've gone tens of thousands of years into the future. So it's safe to assume our colony doesn't still live in our beautiful little waterfall oasis. Hominids move. They aren't going to stay in the same place. They're going to move with resources, and they're going to move with where they've become accustomed to. So right now we're at the new colony spot, which unrealistically doesn't have any pre-created bedding or anything. So we're going to have to make one of these again real quick.
Oh, make a bed.
Yeah, we're going to have to make a bed. How are we doing? Do we have any other questions up here? Well, people who are
Not that I'm
watching.
seeing. Is this game fun to you, Jacob?
Is it fun? That is an interesting question that you ask because I find it somewhat enjoyable, but at the same time, I'm also having struggles with it because I personally start to analyze the stuff that I shouldn't be to enjoy a survival game. While
Well,
at the
that's a
same time,
bias of the historian.
yeah, well, at the same time, you even said though before that when you played it, you had a lot of trouble because you had difficulty surviving, and
Yeah, and I gave up. It
frankly,
wasn't fun enough for me.
I end up, as everybody's noticed from watching me play this, I have so much trouble leaving the settlement because I'm afraid to die.
Exactly. Yeah, I had the same
And
thing.
that kind of invokes fear in the character, if you will, because if you're taking the role of the character, you're like, okay, but now is my colony more based around fear? Because all they do is sit around in their homes all day.
But once you go out, you
Sorry, I
die
didn't see that.
so fast. There's always a snake or a tiger, or you fall, or you try to climb on something and it breaks, and
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
So here's our progression. We're gonna observe what we gained with that boost that we had before. So we gained more energy for food portion, for nutrient absorption. It's gonna branch out, show us more abilities we can get. These are all discovered by things we do. Willpower, so threats. So if there's snakes or felines anywhere, they're gonna induce less fear, give you a better chance of survival.
Oh, that's good.
So this aspect of the game is really great for people who want to get a little bit further without having to experience what, let's say, you and I did.
Right. Yeah, I
when we
didn't
played,
do
we
any
were,
of this. I didn't skip.
oh my
periods.
god, I just died kind of thing.
Yeah. Huh, maybe I should have done that.
Okay, so right now we have my elderly individual that it just kind of dropped me into. So I'm going to actually take this older individual and I'm going to bring them out and explore a tiny bit while we talk because I don't want to bring one of the young ones. Sorry.
That makes sense. We can sacrifice the health. I shouldn't say that.
They're more experienced. How about
exactly.
that? We have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a narrative issue. Someone had said that the narrative issues are pretty serious with no real character development or attachment. That is very legitimate. It's very serious for me. I have a lot of trouble getting invested in a game where I can't get invested in the characters. And if these characters don't even, I mean, they have names and some of them have bonds and everything. Oh, see, look, we're gonna start right here.
Yep, now it's raining and now you're gonna die from cold.
No, I'm gonna die from this stupid feline because I'm trying to dodge and the controller's not letting me dodge. So
yep, I had that too. I could never dodge. I don't know what's up with that.
This is what I was talking about when I said this is a survival game. This is why we took the elder out, which means that we have less attachment to certain characters. And guess what? Boom, permanent death. Now we're someone else.
Right. I feel like in most survival games that are, of course, not realistic, you could at least build some sort of shelter and then build a weapon, and you're a little bit more protected from all of this. And this game, you're totally exposed to all the elements. There's nothing. You can't build a helmet or a an outfit or an arrow, a bow and arrow, or anything. A stick, but the stick doesn't do anything. So.
Yeah, I'm not positive. I'm not positive even how to get the freezing problem fixed, except for waiting out the rain. We're gonna go into our intelligence really quick, and we're gonna focus on our settlement, figure out what's going on. Let's see. Yeah, relatable characters is important.
Yeah, I mean, I get pretty addicted to video games pretty fast. You give me an hour or 2 hours with any video game, and I would want to go back to it the next day. Like, I just get addicted to it. This one, I never got addicted to. I tried it because of the challenge, and I wanted to get better at it, and because I like the historical narrative and the topic, but I could not get addicted to it. It was more of a chore than it was something enjoyable. Oh,
Well,
did we just
as
lose
stated
you?
in the comments here, it is interesting that there was a network error.
Is this you?
Yeah, give me a second to. I'm gonna try and pull it back online. I think it's a Wi-Fi problem now. Wonderful.
Right. Somebody in the chat says like, not all games you play as the main character. Sometimes you play as a god game, right? When you play like a strategy game or a Sims and whatever. But even then, I feel you have a more closer connection to what you're doing than this kind of game where you switch characters all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm having some technical difficulties trying to get the stream back online. I think my internet's wigging out on me a bit. Apologies on that front. I don't really know what's going on with that. So to talk on that discussion point while we're experiencing technical difficulties here. Yeah, so everyone's reading the comments, but I'm catching up. The game does focus on the population, not the individual. And
right.
that was more of my point, was discussing on how that's why I personally had difficulty getting attached to the game. Because that's great and all, that's their method and what they decided to do with it. But I personally have more investment in a character if I can find through, like if they went through the lineage of a specific individual's lineage instead of just the entire population, maybe at the beginning I would have been a little more invested. But when my very first character goes in and dies within seconds, it's really difficult for me to want to jump right in that.
Right. And maybe even if you would have had more characters to play with, and because you only have so many individuals. If 2 or 3 die, that's it. Your tribe is gone. And at least in strategy games, you have hundreds of little villagers or whatever walking around, so you can send a group to there and a group to there, and you explore different parts, and you zoom in and you zoom out. Here, you can't do that. You can't have control over multiple individuals and send them to different areas to explore and go do tasks, or like have one collect stones the whole time and the other one collect branches, and then you come back. They have made such advancements, and then you can use that to build yourself a shelter. Like, you aren't doing any of the strategy techniques that you're used to from other games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that was another point to notice is to give the characters individual names and to feel like, for example, I read the introduction and I had an idea of where they were going to take it, but I also sat there and I was thinking, oh, this will be fun. I'll be able to like kind of have my characters and
right. Me too.
And
yeah.
Grow them, and I thought it was going to be a slower progression. Whereas,
right.
As you saw, so you can go, if you go back to my Discord. I mean, go back to my Twitch, and you click on the new stream that I just loaded up. We're back in the game. You're just gonna have to. It's a completely new stream because it had to be difficult on me. So
we will try that.
I'm seeing the stream is also looking a little fuzzy too.
Okay.
But
I think we should
be
back on, according to what I see on my OBS.
Okay, so it seems that difficulty is an issue. Yeah, difficulty is definitely an issue because I've played a fair amount of, parts of fair amounts of survival games, and a lot of the time you want to feel as though you are given the chance.
Yeah.
And where we get in a game like this, their whole perspective was, we want to give you the tools, but maybe not the chance. We want the chance to be on your own reckoning, which goes into the question of the actual kind of efficacy of this game to be used as an educational tool. Because while this game may be meant for an individual usage or individual gamer's perspective on it, it's not necessarily, I would say, an effective usage for education, specifically because of the fact that this isn't going to have an accurate depiction of evolution in the way that we normally study it. And this is going to be more of a, well, the directors of the game and the writers of the game took this route instead.
Right.
And that's what you're going to get when you have a game.
I'm still very happy that someone took on this time period and made a game about it. I wish there were much more games about prehistorical times or like Bronze Age or whatever that tackle these like first civilizations or even older than that. So I would applaud them for trying it at least. But I think it didn't create the buzz that I think they were hoping for, because they launched it with like, oh, the makers of Ubisoft are making these like game where you can do anything you want and the options are unlimited, and everybody was hyped about it. But then in the aftermath, I didn't really hear much about it. Not many people have been playing it or recommending it.
Yeah, this game, as an indie game, it kind of went to a perspective of, we made this game and now nobody really is talking about it. And I think the problem with nobody talking about a game like this is it's not going to get the publicity and therefore is less likely to have a sequel game.
Yeah.
Especially if the sequel game was meant to be more of hitting down the evolutionary line, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this thing wants me to do. If it wants me to attack it.
But I hear that their next project that they want to do as a studio is going to be called Amsterdam 1666. It's going to be about Amsterdam in the 17th century. So, of course, that's right up my alley since I lived in Amsterdam for many years. So hopefully this game wasn't too big of a letdown, that they're still finding investors to make their next game. Because I do want to see them.
Is that through Ubisoft though, or is that through the?
No, it's also Apache. It's also their new studio.
All right.
Because I do like how they're experimenting with these different historical periods and these new approaches to video games. I would like to see more of their experiments. So hopefully this one hasn't like put them in a bad light.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can interact with this.
There are bananas?
Let's see if we can get up there. I think it's honeycomb, actually.
Oh.
Which is going to get me in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, bananas wouldn't grow on trees like that. Stupid me.
Okay. Get a handle on it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, watch out for the bees. Don't you need your stick?
Yeah. This is going to be a problem. I don't even think I can get to it.
I think you need to throw a stick at it. Isn't that what they do in the cartoons? And then you go hide in the water.
So there are aspects of this game that do hit properly to an extent, but then we have, again, these things. We haven't talked at all about locomotion anymore, and we've advanced tens of thousands of years, and we're still using the exact same methods, which I did move around a bit, so you'd think that we would be addressing it a little bit more. And we can go check out the evolutionary tree again, but for the most part, I think that we've been jumping around a lot in this game. So while it can be fun, and we can use it to discuss how evolution works in a basic sense, I personally wouldn't recommend it to a university, if you will.
Right.
To use it for their introduction to early human ancestors class.
No. I have to
I also
agree.
don't know what to do to get warm.
Yeah. I wish that the game would actually do give you some sort of quests. Or, you don't have to hold you by the hand and tell you how to do it. But, certain objectives. As in, try to build a shelter to keep you warm. Or something.
I mean, there very well may be further down the line, but as we discussed, I didn't get too deep into that aspect. But I'm curious what would happen if we decided to jump further again, or if they would figure some stuff out for us, or if we would have to figure it out on our own.
I think you have to figure it out on your own. I at some point I've discovered that there are certain plants that when you eat them, you are more protected from the cold, which of course is not realistic. There are no plants that will give you a super coat that protects you from the rain and the winds. But that was then my strategy, to try to eat so many plants as possible whenever I could, so I would never be cold again and don't die.
See, that's where we get deep into the down on the D-pad.
Ooh, you're in a cave.
Oh, it's up on the D-pad. Thank you, though. That was useful. So we have to identify the hidden waterfall oasis. So I don't even know what that is.
That's a different region, right? The diamond-shaped things show you that you're in a different region with a different climate or vegetation. And the end point is for you to get to get to the savannah and to the ocean, and that's where the game ends. Where you're in the savannah, you're walking on two legs. You know how to kill some animals, and you made it to the end. It's basically the end point of the game.
Oh, this is not good. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh man.
Uh-oh. Is that a different primate? Oh no, it's just I
died.
You're
Again.
controlling a new avatar. There we go again.
I have now they're both dying over there.
How many more do you have left of your colony?
I honestly I could not tell you.
Yeah, they never tell you.
I'm trying to just find the waterfall oasis, but I don't know where that is.
And I do know that you can encounter other primates that are not from your original colony. So in principle, you can make new babies if you encounter a primate from the other sex. But it's also quite a struggle, because first you have to convince them to become friends by giving them something they want, which is always something different. Sometimes they want a fruit, sometimes they want a stick. And the moment you give them what they want, they become friends, and then you can adopt them into your colony. But it's quite the exercise to figure that out. And that should, in theory, keep your colony alive, but it's quite tricky.
We're going to try. I don't think I'm going to be able to dodge, but we're going to try. Okay, hold.
You can smell the snake. Hold.
I tried to dodge it. I really tried to dodge it.
Oh, you're bleeding. There are also plants that can help you with bleeding for some weird reason. You eat certain fruits and then you stop bleeding.
I don't know when to let go. See, this is where we get to the annoying part of a game like this. See, we can rescue them, but I have no idea how to dodge.
Mm-hmm. I never figured it out on PC.
Right?
There were different buttons. And... yeah, they say you can rescue them. They're not dead yet, but...
yeah, if I figure out how to dodge.
Someone asked, does sleeping through the night work to attract less enemies, like in Minecraft?
I don't believe you can get attacked through the night.
Yeah, when you're sleeping, I don't think anybody attacks you. But
does anyone know how to dodge? Because we're figuring out how to dodge right now, and all three of these are going to die because I don't.
Maybe you're bleeding. Maybe you can't dodge when you're bleeding. I don't know. Why you weren't the first time.
Well. We're stuck in a loop, guys.
That snake is very happy with all the meat you provide to it.
Yeah, apparently.
Gonna be one big boa.
Yeah, we're not getting out of this. Hold and then dodge at just the right moment. But I did, and it didn't work. The sleeping aspects are mostly for the... The sleeping aspects are mostly for ingraining in whatever you learn during the day. It's timing, you just gotta wait.
But you do have to sleep in a nest. You can't sleep just anywhere, right?
It's night. Sorry, it is night because I'm learning as we're playing here. So ready? We're gonna dodge.
You're panicking. Oh no. Oh, you dodged.
I don't think. I think we're just gonna get away from the snake. I don't think.
You dodged and you got some more skills because of it.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. We have about 5 minutes left to send in your questions and comments. Does anyone have anything else? I can try and find the nest so we can bring it back to daytime for everyone. Okay. Lie down. Let's sleep. Any questions that anybody else has for us for this? We can try our best to answer anything we have.
I do hope that more people will give this time period an attempt within video games. Because, I mean, the ultimate dream, I think, of any archaeologist is to go back in time and like go see what prehistorical times looked like. At least it is for me.
I mean, I know when we get into game conversations like that too, we have other games like you can discuss the historical accuracy of anything from Assassin's Creed to any of the Civilization games. All right, so I'm not doing too well here, so this is where we get into the conversation of like what's working for this game and what's not. And while this might be great for other people to handle their
in conclusion, this game is for people who are really intrigued by this concept. And other people can just watch YouTube videos of it.
Yeah. I don't think this character is going to make it.
Oh, he's so
That's
bloody.
going to be a no.
Oh no.
Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed at least the discussion before we lost every single member of our colony.
And that is how all my gameplay trials ended.
Let's see.
But there are people on
sleep it off, I
YouTube
guess.
whom I've seen who play through the entire game and have made it all the way to the ocean. So if you're interested, you can watch them on YouTube and see how the story continues. And how you should
I'll
be
try to
playing
work
the game.
through more of the game in the future too and see if I can get it down the road a little bit. Because we went to see how this would work in the time span of a stream, which has been, I'm not sure how long now because my stream reset, but we've been in here for over an hour and a half.
You did a lot in an hour and a half. That's how long it took me
Spiky
the
grass
first time
near the
just
water.
to get out of that valley.
Here we go. So we survived a whole hour and a half of gameplay though, so that's something.
Whoop!
Lineage year of extinction is 9 million years. So see, we didn't really go too far into some of the other skills. And we could have, but instead it was more to see how would this handle as a brief analysis of the game. And I think that overall, what we had addressed before, it was a great way to introduce evolution to somebody when they're learning, but it might not be the best learning tool for evolution, which is the same way we can say about most other games like this, where you're going to say, hey, this is a great way for you to get excited about it and get interested into this, but also let's talk about this through education instead.
Great. Well, thank you, Jacob, for introducing us to this game.
Thank you for having me.
For all your excellent, fascinating commentary. We will be back next month with another Archaeogaming session in which we will be playing, I believe, Civilization 5 and talk about ancient military strategies and agriculture, I believe. So that will be interesting. So advertising for that will come up in a couple of weeks, and we hope that you will join us then again. Until then, bye.